Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nurul Hafiza binti Hamzah. I would like to present about the introduction for this topic. Okay, first of all, since its introduction in 1963, the Islamic financial system in Malaysia has seen tremendous growth in demand, acceptance, and development. Islamic financial system in Malaysia is to work with Malaysia key financial structure. So, to achieve this, the Islamic financial system introduced itself as a suitable alternative to more advanced traditional system. The prerequisite of the Islamic financial system are clear legal structures and financial instruments. After that, the central bank, which is Bank Negara Malaysia, allowed traditional banking institutions to provide Islamic banking service using their infrastructure due to the pressing need to kick off the expansion for the Islamic banking system. The alternative was seen as the most powerful and affordable way to rapidly and inexpensively growing the number of institutions providing the Islamic banking service. Many conventional banks then began providing the Islamic financial structure to encourage clients to use their banking service. For example, Commerce International Merchant Banker (CIMB). CIMB Group's holding is the second largest financial service firm in Malaysia, listed on Bursa Malaysia by Bumiputra Commerce Holding Berhad (BCHB). In 2004, under the auspices of Commerce International Merchant Banker (CIMB), the largest investment bank in a region, CIMB began the process of building a strong and competitive global bank. With a comprehensive suite of Sharia-compliant products and services, CIMB Islamic is the group Islamic banking and financial service franchise. Their solutions include finance, sukuk, investment banking, transaction banking, asset management, banking and security service for ASEAN-wide individual company, corporate and institution clients. They seek to expand the value proposition of Islamic goods to their clients and the general public with the implementation of their Islamic first strategy. Via a value-based approach, a hallmark of Islamic finance, they aim to gradually incorporate environmental, social, and governance variables. In addition, contracts made in the banking financial system must also be in accordance with the condition contained in Islam. There is also a debate on contracts implemented in the Islamic banking financial system, such as the contract wadi'ah in account service. Okay, when there is a scholarly debate on the matter, the banking financial system has converted the contract to another contract. So, of course, you want to know why and how they rebranding wadi'ah to the Qardh Hassan. So, for this topic, I pass to the next presenter.
Okay, first let's see to the definition of Qardh al-Hassan. Qardh al-Hassan consists two words, al-Qardh and al-Hassan. The word Qardh synonym with al-Qardh meaning to cut. It is said so since applying the Qardh means that some of the lender property will be cut by supplying the borrower with the loan. Al-Hassan also in Arabic word which originate from ihsan. Ihsan means kindness to others. Even though Hassan means goodness, the practice of Hassan is, in other words, understand as helping people. The term Qardh al-Hassan means beneficial loan or benevolent loan or interest-free loan and beautiful loan. Generally, the definition Qardh al-Hassan is a loan which is returned at the end of the agreed period without any interest or share in the profit. Qardh al-Hassan is a charity contract of great value by Allah. The legitimacy of Qardh al-Hassan is found in Holy Quran as well as Allah regarding Qardh al-Hassan in Surah Al-Taghabun verse 17. Meanings the words if you lend to Allah a good loan, He will multiply for you and forgive you. For Allah is most appreciative and most forbearing. Qardh al-Hassan is a contract between two parties requires same principle which are applicable for other Islamic transactions. Qardh al-Hassan should be highlighted and further extended as one of the pillars for emancipation of the Islamic economic system.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Muhammad Izaham bin Muhammad Nur. Today, I want to present about the contract of Qardh Hassan saving account in CIMB Islamic Bank. Al-Qardh Hassan is a good loan and a good loan contract between two parties for social welfare or short-term bridging finance. Al-Qardh Hassan contract between Islamic banks and borrowers, but the borrower only must pay back the amount borrowed, although the borrower can pay extra money as thanks to the bank. Al-Qardh Hassan was good for all people in Malaysia who to do the loans to buy something or something useful. Because we only must pay how much we borrow from the bank without pay extra money to bank, but we can pay extra money to the bank only for thanks, not for their profit. If we pay to their profit, it can call the riba, and the riba is haram in Islam. Most of the authors define Al-Qardh Hassan as charitable loans with no interest or zero interest bearing loan with low expectation of the return of capital. Al-Qardh Hassan is offered to the needy people, particularly needy students, as the most important group and the staff of the Islamic banks as the second most important group. We can see when the student can study, we can create many knowledge people who can take over in all sectors in Malaysia, and it can increase our country economic from day to day. In addition, Al-Qardh Hassan is very versatile in nature and can be used for financing for all sorts of consumption, production, service, and debit activities. Unlike the other products like Murabaha, Mudorabah, Bait Salam, Ijarah, and others, it is because Qardh Hassan is very complementary to other financial contracts. Next, we can see the rules and conditions to running Al-Qardh Hassan. First, offer and acceptance. Second, no stipulation of repayment more than principal amount. And lastly, running without combination and exchange contract. Next, in 2018, based on the annual report of CIMB, CIMB Niagas was offered 5-pronged benevolent funding scheme for education, for healthcare, for infrastructure, for social, and for economic empowerment. CIMB was running the Qardh Hassan by assigned partners for distributing benevolent funds. CIMB Niaga has leased some non-government such as CIMB Niaga CSR units, its own Islamic business banking, Islamic consumer, and business management. For the example, This NGO was cooperation to help the community in Indonesia who involved in nature disaster, and CIMB was sent the partners to help the community there to start a new life after the natural disaster. So, we can see that the Qardh Hassan very useful to all people who live in a country that has a CIMB bank because this bank was offer many services that's useful to all people, especially to all the needy. CIMB is one of the non-government who take care of the problem of the community. So eventually the community will live better from day to day, and this way can decrease little by little empowerment people. According for this statement, when employment people was decreased and the community have the work, we can see it can help to improve our economic country from day to day. And when economy was improved, our country can be popular and will stand in the eyes of the world. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Halwan binti Syedman. I will present about Islamic banking services in Malaysia. Islamic banking services are quite similar to those provided by traditional banks, but there are a number of different variations. The services provided by Islamic banks and financial institutions under the Islamic banking scheme have been diversified. Next, I will explain about rebranding Wadi'ah. Discussion on the Wadi'ah concept paper, a paper published in December 2013, lists agenda and trade rumor in the field. In Malaysia, the Wadi'ah contract secure storage is used for saving account transaction form for clarifications. The main point is that the ownership of final assets remain owned by the customer under the Wadi'ah system, and the bank has not yet obtained sufficient consents to use their money explicitly for Wadi'ah yet Damanah. Therefore, BNM is given an exit for the above mentioned puzzle to move to Qardh Hassan products, where loan ownership is transferred from the customer to the bank, which allows the bank to use the loan whenever required, thus guaranteeing the loan amount if necessary. Previously, under the Wadi'ah Yad Damanah law, if the bank means to use mobile assets held by bank customers, such as money, adequate consent must be obtained before the bank use the money for other purpose, including to generate return. Next, let's discuss about some issues related to Qardh al-Hassan. First of all, firstly, among the factors that reduce the supply of Qardh al-Hassan products to Islamic banking is its high risk of financing without a guarantee of repayment. In this situation, Islamic banking institutions will find it difficult to recover their funding while growing credits area loan without performance. The bank has difficulty recovering the balance of the loan. It reduces the rate of the profits and contribute to the closure of the bank. In order to prevent this from happening, the step taken is not to sell Qardh al-Hassan products. The second issue is there is also the community's assumption that Qardh al-Hassan loan is not mandatory because it is charitable assistance when in fact, according to the basic principles of Qardh al-Hassan, any financial loans must be paid before the original objective to meet individual financial needs can be met. If society still assumes that these loans do not need to be repaid, the ability of Islamic banking to help people in need will be hindered. The third issue is other Qardh al-Hassan related issues include the question of enforcing additional bank payments. The introduction of Qardh al-Hassan today, however, deviated from its original purpose because it was made on behalf of the bank as one of the banking products aimed at making a profits. To legalize profit-making activities, the bank has paid management costs or services. In relation to Qardh al-Hassan, this practice is seen as contradictory to Sharia principle. However, banks are permitted to charge provider or management for Qardh al-Hassan expenses according to the AOP as long as they do not surpass the cost of the original expenses of Qardh al-Hassan. That's all from me. Thank you.
In conclusion, while the while the reality is that the principle of Qardh Hassan are very hard for financial institutions to follow because they have to sustain good profit in competition with other financial institutions. Islam is obviously a religion that has offered a comprehensive way of life by organizing its citizens to handle life wisely financially. While Islam needs its individuals to be debt or to make financial loans except in a dire or desperate condition, such acts should not be used as a tradition and culture. It is important to avoid the habit of being debt to debt because the effect is to cause a person to live in anger, anxiety, and depression that affects the unity of family institution and strengthens fraternity and friendship. Muslims are encouraged to live a simple life and be thankful for the blessing of their efforts bestowed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In fact, when making financial loans, they are advised to be careful not to get caught up in debt that is not only against the legal aspects of the country but also beyond the noble limits outlined by Islam. Through the principle of Qardh Hassan, Islam has prescribed financial lending instruments that do not burn consumers as one of the pillars for pushing the Islamic economic framework free of usury elements. Qardh Hassan and Qardh Hassan proposals and should be highlighted and further developed since it is one of the way for corporate bodies to contribute back to society. However, its implementation includes a more detailed and analysis that take into account the expertise and viewpoints of the parties currently operating the scheme based on Qardh Hassan. All organizations specifically engaged in effort to maintain the socio-economic status of Muslims in this country should endorse this noble purpose. That's all for my group. Thank you.